And a very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Lord with the CBC Evening News. In our top story, Prime Minister Stewart has designated Senator Darcy Boyce, Minister in the Prime Minister's office, as the Minister to deal with business facilitation. He made this disclosure at the end of a meeting of the social partners at government headquarters recently and is in keeping with a promise he made during an address to the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry earlier this year. Mr. Stewart told those present that Senator Boyce's new designation would broaden the base of his remit. As Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Senator Boyce has responsibilities for energy, immigration, telecommunications and Invest Barbados. Mr. Stewart says under his new designation, Senator Boyce would be required to identify blockages in the system and have them removed or clarified where possible or brought to the Prime Minister's attention. In some cases, Senator Boyce may be required to explain the operating systems to persons and suggest what improvements need to be made. Well, Prime Minister Stewart left Barbados today to attend the 50th anniversary of independence celebrations in the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. The main events at which Mr. Stewart will be in attendance are the National Flag Raising Ceremony tomorrow and the Jubilee Float Parade on Thursday. The Cooperative Republic of Guyana was granted independence from the United Kingdom on May 26, 1966 and became a republic on February 23, 1970. Barbados' independence from the United Kingdom was also granted in 1966 and its Golden Jubilee will be celebrated this November. Barbados and Guyana established formal diplomatic relations on November 30th, 1966. Well, this year's sugar crop is over and the country has produced just over 7,000 tons of sugar. Confirmation of this from General Manager of the Barbados Agricultural Management Company, Leslie Paris, and Peter Thorne tells us more.
The sugar crop, which started on Monday, March 7th, lasted for just over 10 weeks, finishing on Saturday, May 21st. General Manager of the BAMC, Leslie Paris, says the harvest met all of its target projections, yielding just over 7,000 tons of sugar, as Portvale operated as the sole factory this season, while Andrews was taken out of production to prepare it for operation as a multi-purpose factory. Mr. Paris says independent cane growers and the Barbados Agricultural Management Company worked together closely to achieve their goals, adding that there were no industrial problems, as the Barbados Workers Union and the Sugar Industry Supervisors Association being very cooperative and sensitive to the plight of the industry. The BAMC boss says that the near 2-year drought impacted the size of the crop, with the yield per acre down, producing the lowest harvest on record. But he says most of the 7,000 tons will be shipped to the European Union as Barbados makes its lone shipment there, whilst the remainder will be put on the local market for domestic use. Sugar officials are hoping for an improved crop next year as the island starts to aim at the 25,000 ton target once again. Agriculture Minister Dr. David Estwick is on record, stating that once up and running, a revived sugar sector will produce several high value added products with increased yields of sugar cane. These include specialty sugars and branded molasses for export, bulk sugar for domestic use, and electricity to be sold to the Barbados Light and Power Company. The mass production of an additive for fuel is also said to be on the cards. Peter Thorne, CBC News.
Well, a local agronomist is advising young people that it's a perfect time to launch a successful career in agriculture. National Coordinator for the Global Environment Facility, that's the GEF, David Bino, says with such a range of career options and opportunities, young people should envision a future within this dynamic sector.
It's much more than there's several other careers in agriculture. You have the plant pathologist, you have botanists, you have the food technologist, you have the agricultural engineer. Everything, there's so many nodes along this line that you can fill a gap that is currently absent. And in case you're wondering, the younger persons who are here, the average age of persons within the Ministry of Agriculture is going up, and they need persons to replace them.
And many secondary students will soon have the chance to develop their agricultural business skills when the GFs Garden project expands to include more secondary schools. The launch of that move was held at the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth. CXC Business Development Officer Marcia Ann Clark says the project, funded by the UNDP, previously encompassed 30 primary schools and 1 secondary school alone, and that's the Grantley Adams Secondary. The UNDP will pour $50,000 more into that garden project, which is supported by the Division of Youth Affairs and the Barbados Association of Principals of Secondary Schools.
The program itself has grown to include 5 core components: soil testing at the beginning, organic farming so that it impacts the environment with funding coming from the Global Environment Facility Small Grants Program. Agripreneurship is consistent, looking at agri-careers and having market day as an opportunity to then market and sell the produce. Consistent funding for the project has always come from the Global Environment Facility Small Grants Program implemented by the UNDP.
There is concern about the low work ethic and lack of etiquette in young people entering the workforce on the island. And Managing Director and Lead Consultant of Regional Management Services, Inc., or RMS, Dennis DePisa, wants to ensure that job seekers are adequately prepared for the workplace. RMS, along with the National Initiative for Service Excellence, or NICE, and the Human Resources Management Association of Barbados, or HRMAB, will be hosting the World of Work Showcase. Mr. DePisa says the showcase will provide training and guidance workshops and address issues affecting employability.
We are seeking to introduce those who are involved in the program to the accepted standards to be followed in the world of work, because if we don't get people to understand what is the best practice, what they should do and what they shouldn't do, then we're going to have the problems that we continue to have. We're hearing employers complain about our young persons when they come into the world of work, the issues that they have, and we need to address those by taking a course of action. And the only way we can do that is by exposing people to training.
And Chief Executive Officer of NICE, Kim Tudor, says that efficiencies displayed among young job seekers are a national crisis which requires a national solution. She believes it's our duty to prepare the youth for the world of work.
I think there are enough organizations, NICE and HRMAB, I know we've discussed this, will be willing to spearhead that, where there is a national orientation for the world of work. So you automatically go through that before you enter the world of work. We saw it as something where we can volunteer. There are enough business houses, there are enough business people. It just needs coordination, and we owe it to our children. If we want to be a country that is competitive and going forward, we have to prepare our youth as best as we can so that they go seamlessly from the school into the world of work.
And the World of Work Showcase will take place on June 20th at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre, and interested persons may contact NICE in order to register. Well, 3 people, including the driver of a minibus, escaped serious injury after the vehicle overturned in St. George. The accident took place at 5:15 this morning. The van hit a wall before overturning along Walker's Road near the St. George Parish Church. Emergency crews, including police, responded to the accident. The driver of the van and his 2 male passengers complained of pains about the body, and they were all taken to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital by ambulance. Well, coming up, we'll tell you just how well Barbados did at the Chelsea Flower Show. Stay with us.
Don't let your data experience slow you down. Step up to Digicel, Barbados' fastest 4G network, more than twice as fast as the slow network. Get more with Digicel. Digicel, the fastest 4G network in Barbados. Dial *153# to sign up to Digicel today.
If you're looking to add a stylish and elegant touch to your home decor, then look no further than Furniture Village with their classic rooms to go collection, the Woodhouse collection, and more, along with decorative pieces and soft furnishings for the right touch. Get style, get value with Furniture Village.
Good morning. On the Wednesday edition, or the Hump Day edition of Morning Barbados, we'll talk road safety with our friends from the Royal Barbados Police Force and the Barbados Road Safety Association. And we'll also tell you what's happening for Crop Over 2016 as things get underway. We're getting this show on the road, and more to come about Gospel Fest.
And of course, we'll have our doctor on the line, Dr. Adrian Lord, family physician. He'll be dropping in, and I'm sure you have questions for our doc. And Guyana celebrating their 50th anniversary this year too. Yeah, we're not the only one here in Barbados, and they're going to be having some activities here, the local Guyanese in Barbados. All that and more on
the Wednesday edition of Morning Barbados. See you bright and crispy.
Another golden effort for Barbados at the Chelsea Flower Show in London. It's the third gold in a row for Team Barbados at the Flower Show, which is currently underway. Coordinator of Team Barbados, Jennifer Weech, says they are elated. The golden entry was in the tropical cut flowers and foliage section.
We're very, very happy to win gold on our golden anniversary year. And we thank everybody in Barbados who has helped us, all the growers and all the people who give us stuff from their gardens and things like that. And as I just said, we're happy. We're very happy.
Team Barbados exhibit theme this year is This Place Barbados. Ms. Weech says it celebrates 50 years as an independent nation, capturing the vibrant colors of key factors of Barbadian life.
What we did was to have a shape of our island, 6 foot by however wide, and we depicted all of the parishes with different foliage and flowers. So we had St. Lucie with sugarcane, we had Bridgetown with anthuriums, we had different parishes with different foliage and flowers. And then around the island, we depicted different parishes. We depicted Bridgetown, we depicted the west coast with the beaches, we depicted the north of the island with arid stuff like cacti and succulents, St. Lucie, St. Andrew, that sort of area. Then we did the south coast, Oystins, and we had like fish pots with fish swimming through it, being flowers, of course. And then we had under the island, which was at like a 45-degree angle, we had the cave.
And the Barbados Association of Flora Arrangers was also in winner's row. It copped a silver medal in the sculpture in the garden section of the show with their entry entitled Under the Waves. Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Senator Harcourt Husbands, is urging students to embrace science, technology, engineering and mathematics, or STEM, some more. His comments came at the closing and prize-giving ceremony for the Barbados segment of the Sagicor Visionary Challenge. Senator Husbands reminded the participants that some elements of STEM, like math, are unavoidable in their academic journey.
The more you are exposed, the more you take on board this idea of STEM education, of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, the better quality of life you are going to have. And that will be at all levels. If your job is a high-paying, high-flying job, or one that is not so high-flying and high-paying, at every level of employment, the quality of your life will be dependent on your exposure to science, technology, engineering, and math.
And Vice President of Corporate Communications and Marketing at Sagicor Life Inc., Anderson King, says the past participants had been extremely successful. He is optimistic that the competition will encourage more students to study STEM subjects at the university level.
Statistics from a UE review of higher education in 2013 show that overall, within the university, only about 1/3 of its student population within the university, only 1/3 was enrolled in STEM programs. Together we can change that. We believe that collaboration between the private sector and these government agencies is vital for the development of these disciplines and for the education of the nation's youth.
For the second time, students from Queen's College have emerged as the winners in the Barbados Sagicor Visionaries Challenge. The school had 2 teams in that competition this year, but it was the team of Zaria Lane and Tiffanys Foster that got the judges' nod ahead of the 6 other displays. Their sweet coconut grey water filtration system, which comprised of limestone, coconut and sugarcane fiber, fine sand and activated charcoal, recycles water from in the home and the school. The Darrell Jordan School placed second, while the St. Michael's School placed third. Both members of the victorious Queen's College team told the media that they are happy, even though they did not expect to win.
We saw all the other good demonstrations put forward by the other schools, so we were thinking that ours was, not as complex as the others, but proven to be a simple but effective solution.
I am very surprised and unexpected, and I'm glad that all of our hard work paid off.
And Tiffanys' mum, Gina Lane, was happy, explaining that at one point her daughter wanted to give up.
When we came up with the idea back in September, she was very enthusiastic and so on, but as the work piled on, that kind of took a back seat. So I had to be there as a cheerleader, encouraging, pushing, and even liaising between, teacher and students to get them, to move forward with the project. So I would say that it has paid off.
And this story now coming to hand, the St. Philip community was thrown into a state of shock this afternoon when a body was discovered in a cane field in Bayfield. CBC understands that the man who allegedly lives in the area was found by a relative partially buried in the field that borders Fortescue. Police and forensic officials examined the body and surveyed the surrounding area. Residents say they were alerted from as early as 3 o'clock this afternoon about that discovery, while police are still on the scene. The man's identity has not yet been released and will provide more details as they become available. Well, trainer at the International Procurement Institute, Adrian Chin, believes political corruption may exist within the region. To combat the threat, Mr. Chin says integration of public procurement within trade policies is critical. Mr. Chin was speaking at the Barbados Community College after a seminar on public procurement. He reminded that in the context of government entities, procurement is the use of funds to acquire goods and services.
Because there are sanctions for breaching some of these trade rules and procurement rules that would exist in the trade agreement that you have signed on to, then government would not have this tendency to go and do what they feel like to do outside of it, because once you're sanctioned through a trade agreement, then it trickles down through to other institutions.
Mr. Chen also says there are several opportunities in the area of procurement.
There are a lot more attention being made to procurement, to the extent where now we see procurements being in trade agreements that never used to be the case. So, and the profession itself is now being professionalized. So in the past, then an accounting clerk is now a procurement manager. Now we're seeking to certify your procurement persons.
Still to come, a manhunt is on for a cop killer in Trinidad and Tobago.
Presidia, the